They're the guardian angels that piece our 23 together every week and make sure that the boys are ready to fire on game day.
My name is Teresa Te Tamaki and I'm the assistant physiotherapist with the All Blacks.
She's easy to go up to, have a laugh with. She's always nice and friendly.
Because she's such a kind person and easy person to get along with, you know, the boys are comfortable.
She's real good at, I guess, helping me keep ahead of the game.
Didn't have a great deal of knowledge around physio prior to going to uni, to be honest. I just knew I wanted to do something working outdoors, something related to sports, and I knew I didn't want to be a PE teacher. So it was either going to be a sports science route or like physio, so I almost fell into it. Finished uni, still kept playing footy, then selected for Black Ferns initially in 2007. Really it was just a cycle of playing rugby, working, play some more rugby. If I was lucky enough, get on an end of year tour with Black Ferns, and just really enjoyed doing that, and made the move down to Hamilton in 2007 actually, and that ultimately ended up being my start into the physiotherapy space as well. Todd Barker was the S&C at Waikato. He was our regional trainer for Black Ferns, and then in 2015 they were sort of looking for a little bit of a change and were looking for a physio. So I was obviously working as a physio at the time, knew him really well, and he sort of put that out there as whether I'd be interested in heading into rugby. So that was basically the start. That was sort of the first door that opened for me, and then started 2015 with the Waikato NPC with the men's team, and then had the opportunity to work part-time with the Chiefs. So when the super players were over in Africa, they needed someone to look after some of the guys that were back home. So that was me in and out a little bit there. I guess that was my pathway: NPC, Super Rugby, and then onto this job, and probably quite helpful for me once these opportunities were opening up, that I'd already created a few relationships in there, I guess. At the moment, in our environment, Adam and I will go through and tweak, so we're the tweakers. We'll go through and just, depending on whether it's positional, injury history, a niggle that they've got, then we'll go through and just modify something or change an exercise, add a little bit more and look at what their week looks like, keep the bigger picture in mind about like where we might want them in a few months or sort of by the end of the year. But yeah, everything is about hissing on Saturday and getting them ready for Saturday.
They introduce some very exciting young prospects to international rugby.
I worked with Teresa from around, I think it would have been 2019, 2020. She was with Waikato when I was first coming through the grades. So got the first taste of working with her then. After travel, after games, she's always helping out with the boys. The boys have got like tight backs.
She runs the Monday night stretching, which is always good for us, and we have our own niche group, the Gary Jacks, so it's those with old tight backs, and T runs that, so it's just like stretching, and if she feels it's quite bad, she'll get in like one-on-one treatment time, which is usually massage, and if it wasn't for her, that's probably the only stretching I do during the week is when someone else is doing it for me.
Yeah, I think the good thing about T is she's got a really keen attitude around learning and happy to take on board any sort of new technique or anything like that and try it out. Just always keen to learn and get better and grow. What she's brought to this environment, I probably go to her a lot for needles, get a little bit of a tight hip in that, so she knows what I need and around there to loosen it up and get it good for the next day after a big day. Yeah, I mean general physio on bodies, massage, treatment, all of the above, getting the body good if it's a little bit injured, or just a little bit of maintenance as well.
I guess she's just doing whatever she can to help get the boys ready for whether it's training or match day. So I think she's got a massive role in the team and helping getting bodies right.
I guess the change that I've seen in the environments that I've been in is that more so now where it's really integrated. So we work alongside or like with S&C a lot more than we did. Yeah, the technology is probably a key part of why we work more closely with S&Cs. But I think what we do really well, particularly having worked with Adam for a while, I feel our strength is probably in looking at the numbers and then interpreting them and making sure that we've got it in context, asking the right questions to the right people just to make sure that we're not sort of like chasing shadows or anything. Can't just look at, I don't know, the high-speed running or the total volume of running and then look at maybe their calf endurance and then just start to make decisions and conclusions around that, particularly because it's a high-performance environment and we need our players to train. We need bodies, we need 15 on 15. So we've got to be really mindful that we're not being too conservative, but that we're using all of the information that we can to make a good decision. Looking at the numbers, but also knowing the athlete, the injury history, but their ability to push through whether they'll underreport. There's a little bit of work that's been done in terms of positions and where they're most susceptible, like the loose forwards had quad hematomas and shoulder injuries, and it sort of makes sense, like you're coming off a scrum, and obviously we're always wanting guys in good position, like shoulder on, tackling sort of in front, but sometimes it's probably maybe you can't always get there, and they're the ones covering a lot, so the shoulder injuries are there. It's rugby, so everyone's in collisions and there's risks of anyone sort of having concussions or the quad hematomas or getting stood on. Try and make sure that we're looking at the numbers, GPS numbers and all of that sort of stuff, so that our guys that run heaps, halfbacks, cover a fair bit of ground. So look at that and just make sure that everything else is lining up for them as well.
Came off the bench last week and showed he was ready for a return to the starting 15.
Injury prevention, like keeping our players on the field is the key, or players being able to perform at their best is the key. So I'll be looking quite a bit at I guess either how players are moving or what sort of capacity they have in maybe like calf endurance or hamstrings. So I'll be using some of the data and the numbers from the VALD equipment that we use, just trying to implement that into either their gym sessions or their prep to train, to make that really individual. So I guess that's probably, for me, it's areas that guys aren't quite as strong in, we try and get those up. Obviously they work hard on the areas that they're good at, but we'll probably be looking for the areas that I guess will help them to perform and keep them on the field. For me as well, it was just another way to kind of connect with the guys, just another way to, I guess, get to know players. Really good opportunity to be able to actually see how they move too. Like you see them on the field and they look awesome and they get into these positions, and then you kind of actually get them into something that seems pretty basic and like they're under it.
Having that experience previously has probably helped her settle into environments a lot faster, know what it's like being a player, by personal experience, just having a good feel on what it's like and what it was like in her time to, I guess, streamline the week and get just the main key things that players will need to be as good as they can be on Saturday.
They've gone from just being strictly strap here to, be available to everyone and everyone at any time. So they're the guardian angels that piece our 23 together every week and make sure that the boys are ready to fire on game day. So rugby environment can be a lot at times, and I liken it to when you go to the barber shop and you're real close with your barber and you can say whatever. They're like that within the team. So apart from the captain, they're probably the second most important people in this team. Oh, and coaches.
That's the kind of person she is. She's just so giving of her time, and she's so good to talk to. Like she's just a good chat. So obviously been working with her for a little while now. So I'm pretty stoked for her to be able to get to the All Blacks. I guess that's probably always been the goal for her.
The conversations are easy with the players. Like I'll end up in, how the kids and all that sort of stuff. And I think that probably just helps to break down those barriers of the professional sort of physiotherapy player side of things and just get to know people.